Test, 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 test. We'll be live in 3 minutes. 3 minutes, test, test.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Hoopla. It's a Tuesday. We have a lot to talk about. Miles Masercola here, Webb Wellman, producer, co-host extraordinaire, all of the above. How are you today?
Definitely the most interesting conversation we have planned today so far. So I think we'll have more attention on us than usual.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, most people that do not know high school basketball but know basketball are aware of the brand that is Oak Hill Academy. Notable alums include Carmelo Anthony, Rajon Rondo. More recently, you got guys like Cole Anthony, Cam Thomas. We can just go on and on and on. It's, one of the greatest. It is probably the greatest program in the history of high school basketball. Coach Steve Smith did an incredible job building that. And now Stoneman has taken over in year one. The reason we are talking about Oak Hill, for those that aren't kind of in the Twitter sphere of things, Oak Hill had a game scheduled at the Phenom Hoops George Lynch Invitational at Charlotte Country Day. They had two games scheduled. Now they'll only be playing one. They're supposed to be playing Carmel Christian on Friday night and West Charlotte on Saturday. Do another episode. Who'd they call yesterday? They called Rick. They called Colby.
They just called somebody.
They called one of the Lewises. And for those that don't know, Tyler Lewis, one of the main core people at Phenom Hoops, obviously. Great playing career, Butler, NC State, McDonald's All-American. He played at Oak Hill, was the point guard, and arguably the best player on an Oak Hill national championship team.
On one of the best, maybe not
talent-wise,
roster-wise on paper, but
result-wise,
record, and they won the national championship. Then they go undefeated that year.
And they went 42-0, 44-0, something along those lines.
And I could be wrong. Are there any players on that team that are currently in the NBA?
No, not currently, no. I think a couple guys graced it.
Tyler was the engine of that situation.
Yeah, our guy, 5'10", Tyler.
Yeah.
So Phenom has Oak Hill with he directly tied. Oak Hill backed out of playing Carmel Christian because they have a fifth-year player on the roster. The fifth-year player is Caleb Seiler, and
they backed out the week of the event.
The week of the event.
They've known their opponent for months.
Yes. And anyone that knows anything, and I know Yerrick knows, and I know that staff knows, in North Carolina, in the NCISAA, which is an association governed by the NFHS, you are allowed to reclass and play a fifth year if you so wish. Oak Hill has also played multiple opponents this year already with fifth-year players. And when asked about that, they said, well, it's tough for us to get home games, so we kind of have to selectively apply the rules for home games.
Unless it's raining.
Unless it's raining. That's another wrinkle to the case. Today, Oak Hill was supposed to play Winston-Salem Christian, who, to my knowledge, does not have a fifth-year player on the roster. They have a couple kids that might have reclassed, but no kids that are in their fifth season. I know Isaiah Washington reclassed, and he's a junior, so it's technically his fourth year. I know Kobe George reclassed, and he's a junior, so it's technically his fourth year. Don't believe any of their seniors or fifth years. I think TJ Cave is a fourth year. He came down from Canada. They canceled because of weather as the home team. And we're fairly, how far do you think we are from Oak Hill right now? 2 hours?
Yeah, a couple hours maybe.
It's drizzling out. I mean, the weather's not perfect. Our guy Jake Honey.
It's a home game.
It's a home game. Like, if anybody is able to cancel because of weather, it's the road team with travel issues getting there. If we know Antonio Lowe, like we know Antonio Lowe, and we do know Coach Lowe, they were gung-ho ready to play that game. And Webb is, I help with the events and stuff like that where I can, but you're really the one in charge. And not with the George Lynch Invitational. I know you helped with that, but that was more the Lewis's kind of coordinating that. We were going to stream it on our network. Or we're still streaming the event on our network, and there's still a lot of great games. And you guys should go, and if you can't make it, hoopstatelive.com has you covered. I think it's going to be David Katz or Coach Hatchett on the call. To do this the week of the event, when sponsorships have been sold, when tickets have been, I don't know if tickets have already been sold, but people are getting ready to go. You have a student body and a community ready to play one of the biggest games in school history at Carmel Christian, and the rug gets pulled out from under them. What are your thoughts on this situation?
I mean, it's okay.
Because we're going to get into
this since basically like right when the show ended yesterday, we got this information.
Yeah, and for context, this game has been set up now for at least 3 months. Mm-hmm. And the greater debate with fifth years, we'll get into that later. Because there's a conversation there. But go on.
Yeah. I've just been like, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to do too much. But so let's start with like what seems to be the simplest thing, like not wanting to play somebody. I mean, that's okay. I don't like it, but
I just got a text with the forecast, the full forecast, by the way.
If you were to state that you don't want to play team X, Y, or Z early on, then I mean, that's a little bit easier to manage.
If you get the schedule and within, maybe say a week of you getting the schedule, you're like, hey, we can't.
A week? The hell do you need a week for?
True.
You see the matchup and you know you don't want to play that team, you should speak up immediately.
Yes.
What they did was they waited for Carmel to play their first 2 games of the season. 2 games where they looked pretty damn good.
I honestly, like, Carmel looked solid. They didn't look incredible.
Hold on, though. Yeah. I'm just saying that Oak Hill is not your normal Oak Hill this year. Right?
Yes.
First year, new situation, blah, blah, blah.
They still have players. They still have...
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's a little weird that you call the Monday after that team plays their first games and you're like, oh, well, we don't play teams with... Yes, you do. You do play teams with fifth years. You admitted you do. You said you do it at home when you have to. Then what are we talking about?
Yeah.
You don't want to lose because you don't want to mess up your record. It's also a little ironic. I mean, obviously, like, first of all, Steve Smith would have never done this.
Nope.
No version of this would he have ever done.
Nope.
Point blank, period. They have had a bad stretch of luck the last couple years they've come down here. Mm-hmm. They lost that controversial game to Combine. They lost to Greensboro Day in a non-controversial way. Mm-hmm. And they honestly, like, they would have been favored against Carmel, but there's a good chance Carmel beat them.
100%.
They still are willing to play West Charlotte.
Yep.
Then today, they want to cancel their Winston-Salem Christian game. It's the regional team, not the national team.
No, it's the national team.
It is the national team. A game they also might lose.
Yep.
Because it's sprinkling outside.
So, a friend of the program, Jeremy Ellis, just texted He also texted a duck, duck, goose gif, but he also texted the forecast.
Yeah.
37 degrees, 60% chance of rain, wind gusting at 3 miles an hour.
You don't want to lose. I'm avoiding using the P word just because I don't want to take this to a different place, but that's P word behavior.
Yes.
You are Oak Hill. You are nationally ranked every single year. The expectation is that you are fighting for national championships every single year. You don't want to play a private school team?
So,
a state association private school team that has never had a single issue qualifying a kid for the NCAA.
That has a brick and mortar campus, a nice, beautiful brick and mortar campus. This is a very, very legitimate school that has existed for a very, very long time. You know them, you know of them, you know how they operate. Just be honest. I don't want to lose. Yep.
And again, it is Phenom and it is those guys, so how they handle it moving forward is completely up to them. That's the kind of behavior that, never again for me.
Yeah.
Never again for me. It happened last year at the Wall. Didn't want to play a team, didn't want to lose in front of this team. The optics wouldn't look good, so you run away. It's the same thing.
Happened with Oak Hill last year?
No, but I'm avoiding, calling.
Oh, yeah.
You know what that is.
Yeah.
People want to talk about how they would, if we run events, we would do it this way, this way. I even saw on Twitter today, somebody was like, why are you canceling the game? Why don't you just because Carmel doesn't want to play anybody else.
Carmel was ready to play Oak Hill, and they shouldn't have to play
Oak Hill, or they're not playing anybody.
And they shouldn't have to play anybody else.
Well, and that's, again, they were all we can find something. No, if we're not playing Oak Hill, we don't want to play.
No hard feelings.
100%.
Yeah.
That is, it's just like last year when Bernardi backed out of the Liberty Heights game or whatever it was. He was like, well, can you just find us a different opponent? It's like, no, dude. No. You either play the team you're supposed to play or y'all don't play at all. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to move them or switch them or mess them up because you don't want to play them because you don't want to lose. Mm-hmm. The other thing, too, is if you're going to lose, if it's obvious you're going to lose, then okay. I mean, again, maybe a little bit more understanding, but every time this happens, it's teams that will probably win the game. Mm-hmm.
And here's I'm not even going to say I'm playing devil's advocate, so I'm just going to say, okay, this is probably, Oak Hill's look, that we don't have the team that we did last year. We have a loaded NIBC schedule.
Technically, they were supposed to have Gigi, if we're being honest about it.
Yeah.
Right, when he got hired, the idea was
Gigi's going up there
to get the thing started.
Regime. Yeah. And Gigi ended up classing up to go to South Carolina. We talked about him on last week's show.
I guarantee if Gigi Jackson's on that team, they're not worried about the fifth-year big man for Carmel.
Yeah, Caleb Seiler, solid player, but by no means
starter, 100% a starter. Yeah, it's just he's not the guy that's going to break y'all's back.
No,
he's necessary. He's a necessary piece. Again, if I was Carmel, I wouldn't play without him.
No, hell no.
You know what I mean? Why would you do that?
And you don't want to leave the kid out to dry either, especially when. We can, like I said, we can get in the fifth-year debate and stuff like that, but with the monkey wrench that COVID threw into everyone's recruitment,
fifth years existed way before COVID.
Oh yeah.
And if the NCAA doesn't have a problem with it, why the hell should anybody else?
I completely agree.
Period.
Completely agree. Especially
if they haven't graduated, if they're not post-grad.
Yep.
It's a whole that, and that's a whole different conversation because they can't play against real. That's fine.
Yeah.
Since I've been in high school a million years ago, kids were going to private schools and repeating a year.
Yeah.
It's the only teams you're going to be able to play that don't have fifth-year guys are your traditional public schools. Public schools aren't playing prolific and Oak Hill. And, unless they are just...
Well, West Charlotte is, but...
Well, again, I was getting ready to say, there are some coaches that just don't care. And the West Charlotte coach, I don't want to speak for him, but I would imagine that for him, that's an experience game.
Well, they played Oak Hill in 2019 when Nike put that event on with All-Star Weekend, which was awesome, and it showed the world that Patrick Williams is that dude.
Yep. And I'll say this, I don't know if those kids at Carmel got something better to do on Saturday, but if I'm at Carmel, I'm showing up on Saturday, I'm pulling for West Charlotte.
They played 2 games before.
Right. And I'm sticking around, and I'm pulling for West Charlotte like they're my team.
Oh, it's a better together moment.
And if West Charlotte wins that game, You will see a celebration unlike anything you have ever seen before.
Carmel Christian kids will be flooding the streets.
It is officially the Hoop State versus everybody in that regard. You know, I hope this is how it works out, but I hope everyone in that gym is all in on West Charlotte on Saturday night.
Yep.
And if you're not there, we'll have it live streamed. But if you can get there, I would go. I would wear burgundy. I would cheer my ass off.
Yep.
Because they can win.
They can. West Charlotte's good.
100%.
West Charlotte's good.
Yeah.
They won a state championship last year, and they got players. They got a freshman that's got a chance to be a national player. They got a good point guard, and they got bigs. So they have a chance. And this is kind of the greater debate, and does reclassing belong in high school basketball, and if you're a fifth year, should you just play post-grad? I'm open to have that discussion, but as of right now, there are multiple organizations under the NFHS umbrella, the National Federation of High Schools, that allow it. So until that changes, there's really not a conversation to be had. And
you better be able to show me a rule.
Yep. And here's the other thing. If you're a school and you say, we don't want to play teams with fifth years, that is okay, as long as you come to the event director immediately upon receiving your schedule,
right,
before sponsorships are sold, before flights are booked, before hotels are booked.
Yeah.
Because after you do that, any argument you have is entirely invalidated. And I'm looking right into the camera because the program directors that I'm talking to know exactly who I'm talking about. And we had a conversation with one of the best event directors, college or high school, yesterday. We can should we name drop who it is?
It doesn't matter.
Chris Williams. He was here yesterday doing prep stuff for Holiday Hoopsgiving. He was coaching with Game Elite. He runs Holiday Hoopsgiving. You've known him for how long now, Webb?
Over a decade.
Over a decade. Solid dude. Does things the right way. And he's getting emails late in the game from program directors saying that, hey, we can't play this. They have whatever. You can't do that this late. It completely rigs the economy for event operators, and it discourages people like us, the Lewises, and Chris Williams, and the Schneiders, and whoever, from scheduling big-time games like this with higher-level national opponents because they're scared that the rug will get pulled out from under them, and it's completely unfair to the kids, the fans, the event directors, and it comes back to bite the kids because it's a big game opportunity they have to get exposure that will no longer be there.
Shout out to Tyler Lewis because, he did hold their feet to the fire in terms of being like, talking to them about teams they've already played, and you already play these guys, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like, if they won't play, it is what it is, but I do appreciate, not letting them just get away with the Lewises are such nice people.
They're the nicest people in our business.
People think that you can...
you can walk over.
That you can, get away with stuff with them, and, they are. They're, the nicest people in the world. It's just, it sucks when events are hard to run in general, which is the point I was making earlier. For teams to do this and to bullshit, and which is what this was. I don't want to use the word disgusting because there's a lot more real stuff going on in the world.
Yeah,
disgusting.
No, in the grand scheme, in the bigger picture of the world, this is minute. But yes,
it's yeah. I've got a few different things I could say, but they're probably not ideal. It's a bad look. It's definitely a bad legacy play, and the people at Oak Hill, I do hope you realize that when you go to get players every year, and your reputation is now that you won't play
Carmel Christian,
regular teams,
or Winston-Salem Christian,
you won't do this or that. Good luck getting kids to go to a place that's already hard to convince kids to go to.
Mm-hmm. And now with NIL being a factor in high school,
yeah, it's just you're setting yourself up for failure. And again, for that coach, Oak Hill's not going to let them be mediocre for very long.
No.
They better win every game they play this year. They better smack people. They better prove a point, because otherwise, at the end of the year, they're going to look around did we do the right thing? Because this is bad too. Joe Badgett going public with it made it a lot easier for us to talk about it, because we don't want to. You know what I mean? I don't want to.
No, we don't want to be. We don't necessarily. It's not in our best interest to always be the ones to let the cookies out of the jar.
If he pulled out of my event, I would just say whatever I wanted, however I wanted.
Yeah.
But this is not our thing. This is just our opinion on somebody else's thing. It's just
an event we're the streaming partners of.
Because the Lewises are so nice, they are way too responsible to speak publicly about it or express their whatever. So I hope we're representing them the right way. It's just that's gross. Oak Hill's got to be better, and I hope West Charlotte comes in and proves a point.
I do too. But yeah, so, and going back to the point earlier, like these teams that are competing for Geico, if they're like, okay, we don't want to lose Geico because we lost a game with fifth years when fifth years aren't allowed to play an event like Geico or play in the NIBC. There's nothing.
You lose to Carmel Christian, you're not winning Geico anyway, buddy.
100%. And that's the thing. It's okay to have that opinion. You don't do it the week of the event.
Right.
You don't do it then.
Right.
And
especially teams like Oak Hill, like we have to go over opponents with teams like that early because there's not a lot of people that will play them.
Yes.
So we've got to clear it with both sides. Like that was done months and months ago. Mm-hmm. Months and months ago.
Yep.
It's just there's no excuse for that.
It's crazy. And I hope anyone out there listening understands, like, from our perspective as on the event side of things, like, this is so annoying and so difficult.
Somebody defend it. That's
defend it.
Someone
defend it.
How do you defend it? What is the, like, I would love to, they won't speak up because there's nothing you can say, but I would love to hear the defense of this situation.
So weather.
That one's funny. Just be real. Just be like, hey, we don't really feel like losing, so never mind with this game.
I feel so bad for those guys over there, for both. But and it's even worse the day, like, whether you're, I don't know, man.
Do they show up Saturday is the question. You know what I mean? Like, if they're, whatever. Winston-Salem National is a much more dangerous situation for them in terms of the opponent. If they duck out of West Charlotte too, they might as well cancel their season. You won't play a private school, you won't play a public school.
You won't play an independent school.
You won't play an independent school.
Who are you playing? You're just gonna play your NIBC games?
Quit this season.
Because I'll tell you what, Oak Hill is this is someone that has seen Oak Hill play. They played I watched the Hargrave scrimmage. I've seen clips of some of the other NIBC teams: Montverde, IMG, Wasatch, Legacy. I don't expect Oak Hill to be at the top of those standings at the end of the year, which is the best conference in high school basketball.
And let me tell you, neither do they.
Yeah.
Or else they will be playing games like this.
Yeah. It's crazy to me. So, moving on.
Yeah.
Fifth year debate, I mean, like, we kind of touched on it, like, until the rules change in certain states, like, I know in North Carolina and Virginia and South Carolina, you can play in the private school league as a reclass. I know there's some states where you can't, but until there's no more associations under the NFHS, or you play in a league that explicitly says you can't play fifth years, there's no conversation.
Yeah, 100%.
No conversation.
You're protecting your record, point blank, period.
Yeah. And you don't get to do that unless, you don't get to do that. That's just not how this thing works. Especially when, like, now in college basketball, like, their kids graduated in 2015, year I graduated high school, still playing.
Right.
And
well, I mean, technically speaking, me and you still got college eligibility. Yeah, buddy. Have you ever played college basketball?
No.
You got 4 years, Chief.
But I graduated from college.
You have never played one single minute of college athletics.
Facts.
You can go back right now.
If any coaches out there need a aux cord in the locker room guy and someone to set some good screens, I'm there.
Yeah. I just think we're Mormon.
What would you bring to the table?
Who, me? I'm out. Nothing. I got nothing.
You get thrown onto UNC Charlotte's roster right now. What do you do day to day?
Absolutely nothing. I'm maybe like 10 years ago.
Do you join the video staff?
No, I'm not even doing that. No, maybe 10 years ago I could, like, fire some guys up, but, like, no, I'm not. If I could have played basketball, that shit would have happened. That shit would have been happened. I did always say that, like, if life just fails completely, I would move to, like, some part of Mexico and just play on, like, the worst Mexican professional basketball team in the country.
Alice could actually get you hooked up with that.
Like, just put me near the beach. I'm chill with that.
The funniest joke reclass we ever had. You remember the Tankowitzes, right?
Oh yeah.
So at this point, I was in high school with Justin. He played at NC Wesleyan, and he was like, I mean, Tom's about to go to Kosovo to play. I think I'm just going to go live with him and go be a fourth grader. That was the point he made. You're looking at your phone and laughing. What you got?
Antonio's texting me.
Oh, really? Can you share or not quite?
I'm just, hold on, I'm making sure I'm seeing what I'm seeing, right?
Okay, I'm ready. I love this. A quick question while you're doing that. Is this a construction worker hat?
I mean, you look like you could be doing construction.
I posted a B-reel and my friend was like, are you operating like a forklift?
Yeah, either a forklift or like you're locked up for a minute.
Like I'm locked up.
He said, he sent me a screenshot from the assistant coach. So apparently they asked scouts about the team. They heard they were good, so they canceled. There's a text from the assistant that's like, he asked on Tuesday, so today.
Yeah.
We still on for today. Antonio responded, yes sir, 5:30 versus Red, 7 p.m. versus Gold, correct? And at 10:20 a.m., the assistant texted back, actually we just canceled because of weather, haha.
Haha? Mm-hmm. He said haha?
Actually we just canceled because of weather, haha, 10:20 a.m.
When did Jake text me? This is perfect. Oh yeah, he DM'd me. He said send a photo.
So that decision was made between 10:08 a.m. and 10:20 because the text that he sent Antonio first to ask if they were still good for today was at 10:08.
And I also want to give we don't give Lowe enough flowers, I don't think. Of all the directors and coaches we've had in North Carolina, there has never, I don't know if we've had a more solid guy than Antonio Lowe when it comes to showing up, playing whoever.
Oh, the coach is in here. I wish you would have reached out to me to get the full story before bashing my team. Dude, we've got the full story. I have the full story.
Yeah. What else is there?
What are we missing here, Coach, since you're listening to us right now?
Yeah, like there's nothing else there.
Explain it to me how it's not you not wanting to play teams because you don't want to get beat. And also, yeah, like Rod just said, feel free to call in. I would love for that to happen.
Oh my God, yeah. Like there's legitimately no excuse unless we're missing something that is just completely non-existent.
Nah,
that, like,
what he's saying is that he wanted to do this and nobody found out. Now everybody's finding out, so he's got to come up with like a different story for what this is.
Yeah.
I'm all ears.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Should we just kind of hang on this topic and as the chat?
We can jump back. We can move on to Champions Classic, and then as this develops, we can come back to it.
Yeah. So Champions Classic tonight, college basketball. We had a weird first week, and we finally get good games tonight.
Yeah.
Duke, Kansas, and Michigan State, Kentucky.
I love anytime Hoop State kids get to play Duke or Carolina.
Right.
Ever since watching John play Carolina at Kentucky like that, those matchups will always be my favorite.
And
does Kansas play State in Bahamas? They play each other,
in like
right?
a week and a half, yeah.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
Kansas gets a couple Tobacco Road games for Mr. Rice and Mr. Pettiford, which is always good. I'm expecting gangster Bobby Pettiford to pop out of the party.
He wants to call in. Do you know how to get his phone number?
Is it Yerrick? I guess DM him on Twitter.
Keep going. I'll try to get this figured out.
Okay. Gee, this is going to be interesting. Oh my goodness. So, regardless, Champions Classic tonight, Duke, Kansas. Duke does not have Dariq Whitehead. It's going to be a really, really competitive game. I think the line opened up at Kansas favored by 1.5. It's now shifted to Duke by 1. I don't really know what to make of this Duke team yet. It's Shire's first year. I want to run things off you, but I feel like you're trying to figure this out. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. And then Oscar Tshiebwe's back for Kentucky tonight. Kentucky's a 7-point favorite tonight. Kind of trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that game. But this is kind of what feels like the start of college basketball every year. And it's exciting. It's really, really exciting. And I'm kind of, at this point, just blabbering as Webb figures out how to get Yerrick to call in.
Ross can get us connected.
Okay.
I'm not putting my number in the chat.
No, that'd be a...
Rod will connect the dots.
That'd be a bad idea.
Yeah.
You start getting phone calls from... Oh, yeah. Rod was talking about this on Twitter last night. And you know who replied to him?
Who?
NC Hoopers.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Like, what do we have to do to get him back?
I mean, Rod told him to pull up to the event this weekend.
You think he's still got that math homework?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely still a young boy. I don't know what he's got going on. All right, he said I think Rod sent him my phone number, so hopefully we'll be getting a phone call here shortly. Well, this is going to escalate quickly.
Oh my God, this is perfect.
Yeah, I'm just very interested to hear like what the reason is going to be outside of what we already know.
Yeah.
Any predictions?
I don't have an answer for the weather one because I have a picture of the forecast from our friend.
I'm not even thinking of that. I'm just thinking about the normal thing. The weather one's funny.
I really don't understand like Caleb Seiler being the one that's like, we can't play this game.
Here we go. Hey, Coach, this is Webb Wellman. You're live.
Okay, this is Coach Stoneman, OPL Academy. I hope everybody's doing well.
Yes, sir.
I would greatly appreciate it. Y'all have reached out to me before doing some of the bashing of my team and myself, because if you'd known the full context, you would truly know. That's the reason why the director is not putting anything out negatively towards us.
What's the context that we're missing?
The director knows exactly what was going on and had known exactly what was going on in March. He received a call also the first week of August. He also received another text message, and he also put me in the group chat with the coach from Carmel Christian back in the second week of October. So to say that we're ducking is not.
You guys did not inform Phenom you weren't playing that game until yesterday.
When it was first came out, March 29th, when it first came out, I said I would play him. These are the stipulations. We said that, fifth-year guys, we're not playing fifth-year guys. I wasn't even on Oak Hill's campus then. I was still employed and a coach at Ridgeview High School in South Carolina. So they knew my stipulation before. They also knew the stipulation in July because I reiterated it. And then also, you go back in October, I sent it out again, and they kept lying to me. So I am a person
Who lied to you? Who lied to you?
I am a person that...
Who lied to you, Coach?
Do you want to ask the director? Who's the director?
No one at Phenom Hoops lied to you. That is ridiculous to even
All
say.
right, you ready?
And you guys did not inform them you wouldn't play this game until yesterday.
So who didn't inform?
No one from Oak Hill told anyone at Phenom that you weren't going to play Carmel until yesterday. Just like today with the Winston-Salem Christian thing. Hold on. I gave you your time.
I'm gonna screenshot the text message.
Hold on.
That's a great opportunity. I'm gonna screenshot the text
Hold
message.
on, Coach.
Exactly
I gave you your
what
time.
I said. So if you have what Rick Lewis has, then you understand. And secondly, you're talking about that we're running from Winston-Salem Christian tonight. Do you know, have you done your research that no school in our area, no county school, the North Carolina or South Carolina is having school today because of weather?
And that happened in a 10-minute period between 10:10 a.m. and 10:20 a.m.?
You do your research, you're not going to know. You should have done your research and research back to March, and Rick Lewis knew exactly what it was. That's the reason why he's not bashing me or saying anything negative about it.
He's not saying anything negative about it because that's not who Rick is. Rick doesn't speak publicly about things that are negative. He's never going to do that.
So why are you doing that then?
Because I own a network and I hold people accountable. I hold people accountable. What you've done here is wrong. What you did to Winston-Salem Christian is wrong.
Let me ask a question. In March, when they first scheduled it, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up the exact text message that I sent. Do you have that by chance?
I have everything I need to have, Coach. I also, again, I know that you guys have known about this game for months. You backed out of it yesterday.
Do you have my text messages to Rick Lewis?
I can get them within minutes if you need me to.
So now you're speaking on something that you don't have the full information.
Why don't you just admit that you guys don't want to lose a game to Carmel? Just to keep it simple, like that's respectable, but that's what it is.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready. I'm beyond ready.
Ready. Exact verbatim by words. This is March 29th at 3:52. Coach, just to confirm, Carmel Christian set to play you Friday night while West Charlotte on Saturday night. November 1819, Charlotte Country Day, we get to have a grand opening in the new gym. Thanks again. I said, yes. Does Carmel Christian play fifth-year guys? I know West Charlotte can't play them. Below is the rule that I'm referring to about fifth years. The student shall not have been enrolled in the last 4 years of high school for a period of more than 8 consecutive semesters, beginning the semester in which he or she was enrolled in the first time in the 9th grade. The 8 consecutive semesters shall be counted continuously from that point, regardless of whether or not he or she remains continuously enrolled in the school.
Can I ask you a question, Coach?
He says, I will check. I said, thanks. He goes, dang, you won't even play Greensboro Day. I said, yes, no, sir. One of their guys tried to come to Oak Hill, but he would have been ineligible.
Have you played fifth-year guys at home this year?
We'll go back to...
Have you played fifth-year guys at home this year?
Back in October 5th.
Have you played fifth-year guys at home this year?
I have asked, and he does not have fifth year. So in our communication in July, I said I will not play anybody. I'm not going to be an ass by it, but I'm not going to play anybody that has fifth year. And he says, okay, they don't have it. Now, how do I know for sure that they don't have fifth year? You know, you can look at Max Prep, you can see the list of their team, but then when you go to the first game that they played, was what day? Saturday?
Friday,
and then Saturday, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, they played 2 games.
So on Monday, we ask again, do they play fifth year? This is going to Tyler. Tyler says no, and they do not play fifth year. They don't have fifth year, and they don't play teams that have fifth year. Well, one, that's a lie, because the majority of the private leagues, or in my opinion, do reclass. After they enter the 9th grade, they will reclass. And so one, that's another lie to us. Then, you know, they're trying to insult my intelligence, because I'm telling you, I've given you hints, I've given you nuggets that, hey, I know they have fifth-year guys.
You've played fifth-year guys this season already, though.
I'm telling you they do.
You've played fifth-year guys this season already. And your response to that was, we have to play fifth-year guys at home. We have to get home games.
Ask the boss, coach. Ask Todd Hawkins. Ask him. Ask what he said.
Coach, you've played fifth years at home this year.
I appreciate you having me on.
Coach, you've played fifth years this year. Can you admit that you played fifth years this year?
I'd like for you to at least go back and
Coach.
You know, look at the weather, see what we have here, and the reason why we canceled tonight's game.
Coach.
And you know, you have a wonderful day, and appreciate you, man. I'm
Coach,
glad that
you hanging up the phone without finishing this conversation is a crazy move.
Y'all have a wonderful day.
Hey, Coach.
You too, Coach.
I'll tell you what.
that was. I just sat here in amazement.
That was what people do when they know they're wrong. They overspeak, and before they'll answer any further questions, they jump off. So that was hilarious.
That was unbelievable. I did not think we'd get that today. Wow. Welcome to Hoop State Hoopla.
You played fifth years before.
Raleigh Christian, I believe, has a fifth year.
Try to act like the Lewises or anything but stand-up people shows your true character. And you going off like that and not having any conversation to follow up is proof that, like, you know you're being goofy with this.
Yeah.
Show up Saturday. I mean, that's the long and the short of that. Show up Saturday, prove a point.
Wow. That was interesting.
Yeah. It's always funny when you rustle somebody's feathers for calling them out.
It is. It definitely is. Paul Webb-Wellman, you did it again.
But even that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, you know, I hate that for the reason of, like, that's what people do. Like, you're wrong, and now you're trying to throw that on the Lewises. You pick the wrong people to try to make look bad.
Yeah. We don't really stand for people trying to make them look bad.
I definitely don't, especially when it comes to Rick. You lose me with that. Mm-hmm. You know, anyone who has anything negative to say about Rick Lewis, you don't know shit about him, period. Mm-hmm. Same goes for Colby and Tyler. Exact same people.
Yep.
Yeah, that was entertaining. That was fun. I mean, you know, Yeah, that was.
At least he told us to have a good day.
Yeah, thanks. You too.
You too, Coach.
You too, Coach.
Hope everybody stays safe in that rough weather up there.
Right.
How do we move on from that?
We can just go back to the topics. Yeah. So okay, I'll tell you what. Like,
I just got a text. TBS drove to Oak Hill in January with fresh snow and ice on the ground. No cancellation for weather then. TBS also had 5th years.
But again, here's how I'll leave it. He loved to throw the stuff he threw out there, but when we wanted to start going back with,
Did you play 5th years this year?
Yeah, why didn't you answer that question? You heard me ask you that question 15 times. And you guys have already answered the question privately. You said you play 5th years at home because it's hard for y'all to get home games.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the 5th years they've played are averaging more.
Drew Coleman said avoiding questions like he's running for office.
No, that, like, Congress?
Oh, man. Okay, so the Champions Classic, whatever, I missed that. I don't know anything. Tell me about this Yasiel Puig thing, because I don't know anything about this.
Do you know who Yasiel Puig is?
Baseball player.
Yeah, so Yasiel Puig is currently playing in South Korea. This is absolutely outrageous. Long story short, Yasiel Puig is facing 5 years for, I'll read the headline. Former MLB player agrees to plead guilty to felony charge for lying to federal agents investigating illegal gambling operation. So Puig played for the Dodgers, kind of like a shot in the dark type player, like came on the scene super hot, then fizzled out.
I'm just sitting here just like, I know you're talking to me.
No,
I'm like,
we got to move on. We got to move on.
You're right.
We got to move on. Like, what, deep breaths?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Deep breaths, we're good. We're good.
I didn't call him any names. That was good.
No,
way to go, me.
I don't think you did. You handled that as good as
I could.
knowing you, knowing how you operate.
I know
that you handled that as good as you could.
If anyone watches it back and while he's going off on his rants, you see me staring into the camera. That's my.
I just got a text from Bernard. He said, "No ice on the ground."
All right, yeah. Tell me about Yasiel. Go on.
All right, so Puig, the great Yasiel Puig. There are some details in this that are unbelievably funny. So, Puig, bear with me one moment. Puig called and sent text messages to Agent 1 with wagers on sporting events. He submitted the bets, and by June 2019, Yasiel Puig was in almost $300,000 in gambling debt to this bookie. And they basically said, okay, we have to figure out how to make a way for you to pay this. And it took him like a couple weeks. They wired him the money. They took his access from the websites. So on July 4th, Puig paid his balance of around $292,000. This is the detail that I think.
This is
illegal.
Illegal gambling.
Illegal sports gambling.
Got it.
Yes. This is the funniest detail of this entire story to me. From July 4th, 2019 through September 29th, 2019, which is a little, almost 3 months, Yasiel Puig placed 899 bets on tennis, football, and basketball.
This man's betting on tennis.
Sean Bowl, shout out to you, brother. Tennis.
Am I wrong? Like, if you're betting on tennis, you have a gambling problem.
Unless you're winning.
Okay, yeah.
Unless
it's
you're
like
winning.
betting on cricket. Like, okay, bro.
If you're winning.
Sure. Yeah.
If you're winning.
Bet on it all. Yeah.
Yeah. But he, like I said, down $300,000. What the funniest detail about this is, who is betting on basketball? What?
Rod just said, I'm very proud of you that you didn't call him out of his name. And he included a word, but thank you. Thank you.
So, Puig bet on basketball between July 4th and September 29th.
You didn't say baseball, right?
No baseball.
Okay, got it.
No baseball.
Yep. And he's active or not active player?
At this point, I don't know. I'm about to look.
Close.
But he's active now. He's active in South Korea.
Okay, but you don't know about MLB.
Yeah. I'm going to look at his, I guess, a baseball reference.
That's where the gambling thing, I mean, obviously his is illegal from the get-go, but like gambling with sports leagues really only becomes a problem if you're betting on the sport you play in, correct?
So he played in the MLB that year.
That he was gambling.
Yeah, he wasn't gambling on the MLB.
But I mean, sports don't care if you're gambling on other sports. They only care if you're gambling on the sport you're playing in.
He also got into a huge brawl in August and then got released. So do you think that pent-up frustration from losing $300,000 on Albanian basketball games was part of that?
I mean, probably.
Man, like 899 bets is a lot in a 3-month period, and this is someone that
Yes.
I bet. Like I'll place some bets. Like that is a lot. Doing it on tennis, football, NFL, college football, whatever, and like European basketball, and you're losing.
Yeah, that's right.
It's another crazy sports story that involves gambling. Obviously, I think the most notorious one. Do you know about Calvin Ridley, the receiver? Plays those parlays, and he got suspended for a year. Good NFL receiver. He's got suspended for.
Oh yeah, that was recently, right?
That was this year, yeah. So just another interesting. I'm a gambling guy. I'm interested in stuff like this. So Yasiel Puig, you win Degenerate of the Week here on Hoop State Hoopla, and we hope your South Korean baseball contract can pay for your lawyers.
Yeah,
because you're gonna need it.
Oh, that money's guaranteed, buddy.
I don't think he's gonna get 5 years because he pled guilty. He faces a max 5 years. I think it'll probably get some time and a fine and call it a day.
Yeah.
We talked about the Champions Classic while you were talking to our guy, Coach Stoneman. And now, what's the last topic?
Well, so
Pete Davidson.
Yeah, I don't know why you put him on here. I don't know anything
Pete
about
Davidson
this.
is the Michael Jordan of bagging women.
Oh yeah, he has a different female.
He is currently in a relationship with Emily Ratajkowski. He has also been in relationships with Kim Kardashian.
I know that.
And Ariana
that's the last
Grande.
I've heard his name was with all the Kanye Kim stuff.
Skeet?
No, I'm sorry. The last piece of information I heard about Pete Davidson was he got Kim Kardashian's kids tattooed on him, which if that's true, that's mad weird.
Mad
weird.
It's mad weird.
That's mad weird.
To the women or woman, if there is one in our chat right now, can someone explain the appeal?
I mean, I get it.
He's somewhat funny.
But even still, like, to say that he gets, like, attractive women, that's one thing. Like, he's getting, like, I mean, the girls that, like, people dream about. Like, it doesn't.
Like, literally people dream about.
But
yeah.
He's got obviously he's a funny dude.
Yep.
He's got the tortured artist look.
Rod said me sipping the water while that was going on.
Yeah, Kermit over there.
Yeah.
He's got the tortured artist look, and then obviously, like, whether it's real or not, there, people have talked about. I mean, for a white dude, he's doing all right.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, facts.
You're funny, you're successful, you're doing all right, and you've got that, like, deep eye, like, sad boy artist thing, like, yeah, like that
clinical depression
probably works. Now he's great at getting them, but if he's
not great at keeping them.
He's not great at keeping them.
Not great at keeping them.
And I wonder if that's strategic or if it's just like he just.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he's had other girlfriends than the 3 women I've named. The Ariana Grande thing kind of crumbled when Mac Miller died,
right?
And that was kind of beyond his control. So I don't want to put that on him.
Sure.
Rest in peace, Mac. Favorite artist ever, for what it's worth.
Sure.
Kim Kardashian. I mean, I don't know if that one's on him either.
I mean, no, you can't really,
Like, we're doing with Ye.
No, that was.
We've had our dealings with Ye in the past.
But now people know that he can deal with, like, maximum levels of crazy.
Facts.
Yep. Because he had to deal with the Kanye crazy and the Kim crazy all at one time.
Yeah. I mean, his dad died 9/11, and it's like.
I should have known why you put his name on here. When I saw it, I'm just like, I wonder what that is. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Man, what a show.
Yeah, that was interesting.
My phone is gonna blow up after this shit. Oh my god.
Just show up and play West Charlotte, man.
Hopefully you beat them. For your
But you
sake.
definitely don't have an excuse to not show up to that game.
Maybe the fact that we were mean to you.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Don't get sensitive over the phone call and not show up to play the public school on Saturday. Show up, prove a point. And West Charlotte, you got this, man. Come in and win this game.
Ride or die West Side.
Win this game. Send some shockwaves. I do appreciate it. Hey, okay.
No, I was just about to say.
To play devil's advocate, good on the coach for having the balls to call in.
Respect.
Now, he didn't want to have an actual conversation, but
he did more than most.
He did. He went out of his way to call in, and I do. I at least
there's
baseline level.
There's some admirability there. There's some admirability there.
Sure.
And
if he had let me respond and we could have had a real conversation, I would have really loved that.
What if he had called and just been like, yeah?
I would have, dude. That's what people miss. Like if you would just call in and be like, hey, we're trying to win a national championship, and I might lose that game. Don't want to do it. It's messed up for the event, but fair play for the honesty.
Respect the honesty.
Right. And what I'm assuming happened with the weather today was sometime between 10:10 a.m. and 10:20 a.m. some sort of blizzard attacked the entirety of Mouth of Wilson and surrounding areas, and that's why. Anywho. We gave you guys a little something extra today, that's for sure. The chat has been electric.
Who are some notable characters in the chat other than Rod and Drew?
I mean, the chat is... Oh, and there's Max for the first time. Drew's been in here. I'm really bad. I don't want to pronounce a lot of Miles Bolin, I think is how you pronounce it.
Yeah, that's our guy.
Jones. Someone who appears to be from Abu Dhabi. I like American baseball, he said.
So does Yasiel Puig.
Good. Vo's in here. Right? Yeah, just a bunch of folks. So I will say, while I have your attention, this weekend, live from Wilson, 252 tip-off.
Live from Charlotte, George Lynch Invitational. Live from Combine, whatever the name of their event is.
Like, man. And we'll be we'll be back here live for the rest of the week till Thursday. So make sure to stay tuned. Who knows?
I don't know how we're going to top this.
Who knows where it goes from here? But what I can guarantee you is between the time we end this stream and the time we start tomorrow, something is going to happen.
Something is going to happen. There's going to be something.
I don't know what.
At the very least, we have 2 big college basketball games to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you got anything else for the folks? Does our chat have anything else for us?
We could chill for a minute and let the chat catch up and see if they have anything else they want us to talk about.
My man from sweep the leg. Anyway, no, it's neither here nor there. Yeah, we're out, man. Road to the Rafters.
I'm gonna go operate a forklift.
New episode, Road to the Rafters. Last episode of Jail Chambers was last night. The last episode of Wilson Prep is tonight at 7. Tune in.